Hey there, math students. We're going to be starting off today with a very quick review of combining like terms and distributing. And then we're going to do some sample problems on the notes. And then we're going to end by doing two problems from your assignment. That would be numbers 2 and number 12. Let's go ahead and get started. It says at the top of the page, our I can statement. Today we're saying I can distribute using rational numbers. So distributing, that was a few days ago, but not that long. So I bet you remember, when you're distributing, one of the things you need to be most careful about is your signs. So watch out for those positive and negative signs. Let's try problem A. Okay, so we're going to take the number right in front of the parentheses, and we're going to distribute it to this first term and to this next term. So 5 times negative 4x, what is 5 times negative 4? Let's see, negative 20, right? And so we still have x, so we have negative 20x. And then what is 5 times 10? 50. Was it positive 50 or negative 50? Positive, so we're going to put a plus sign in between here. Okay, and then we're done with that one. There's nothing else we can do. We don't have any like terms to combine. So let's go on to example B. All right, negative 7 times 5x minus y plus 15x minus 2y. So a little more going on here. Let's distribute that negative 7 to the 5x and to the minus y. So what is negative 7 times 5? Negative 35. And we do have that x there to remember, so it's negative 35x. Okay, now here's a good place where you should be careful with those signs. What is negative 7 times negative y? It's going to be positive 7y, right? So I'm going to write 7y, and because it's positive, there's going to be a plus sign. Okay, good. And the rest of this, we're just going to copy down. Plus 15x minus 2y. So are we done yet? No, because we still have some like terms we can combine. We've got some x terms here, and we have some y terms here. So what is negative 35 plus 15? That's going to be negative 20x. Now let's combine the 7y minus 2y. That's going to give us plus 5y, because 7 minus 2 is 5. And now we are done. So that's just a quick little review of how distributing works, how combining like terms work. If you can do that, then this homework is going to be totally fine for you today. It's kind of a combination of those two things along with what you were doing in your assignment yesterday. All right, let's fill in some blanks. Please look at each problem and think about how to do it by hand. So what that means is, even if you're going to use a calculator, think about how you would do it without a calculator. Sometimes it's easier and faster to do it by hand than with a calculator. That's true. Like if it was 4/5 plus 1/5, I could just think, oh, that's going to be 5/5, which equals 1. And it's faster than typing all that in the calculator. But if you want to use your calculator, totally fine. It is allowed, all right? Let's look at example 1. Simplify the following expressions using the distributive property of multiplication. So we're just going to do the same thing here that we did up here. The only difference is we have some fractions, but that's cool, right? We got this. So let's distribute that 2/5 to the negative 3/2 x and to the 17/5. Okay, so we need to multiply 2/5 times negative 3/2. Now you can do that by hand, or you can do that with a good scientific calculator that has a fraction input function, or you can use that fraction calculator, which I have linked you on the assignment page. So just look for the big words fraction calculator, and you can use that if you want. Right now I'm going to just use my calculator with the fraction function. I'm almost thinking by hand might be faster, but we're going to do it this way for right now. So 2/5 times, well, let me try that again. Okay, 2/5 times negative 3/2. So I'll put the negative 3 on top and then the 2 on bottom. And you're going to get negative 3/5. They went ahead and simplified it for us. So negative 3/5. And then don't forget your x. Okay, next we have to multiply 2/5 times 17/5. So 2/5 times 17/5. Did I do that right? Okay. Equals 34 over 25. And it's positive, so we're going to put a plus sign here. And 34 over 25. All right. So it doesn't look particularly great. It looks a little bit like a bunch of yucky numbers. But that is your answer. Now, why can I not combine this anymore? Because this term here has an x and this one does not. So they're not like terms. That means we have to leave it like we have here. Let's look at the next example. We have -4 times 9/2y minus 13/4 minus 7y. Okay, so we're going to distribute the -4 here, and we're going to distribute it here. So what is -4 times 9/2? Let's figure that out. -4 times, I know you guys are laughing at me. If you've been watching all my videos, I do that every time. Let me try it again. -4 times 9/2. And that is going to equal -18. Nice even number. -18y. Now, the next one, I'm just going to go ahead and write my sign first. Just doing it a little differently, but think about it. If you have a negative number times a negative number, it's going to be positive, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and write my plus sign. I guess I just felt like doing it differently. Now, if you have 4 times 13/4, if you had 4 times 13/4, do you guys ever do it this way where these cross out and you're left with 13/1, which is the same thing as 13? That's the way I'm thinking about this one, so I know it's going to be just plus 13. If you don't think about it that way, that's okay. You can use your calculator if that's easier for you. And then we still have minus 7y. Okay, do we have any like terms to combine here? Yes, and by the way, look at all these beautiful whole numbers. My. So you have a -18 minus 7y. You have same signs, so you need to add and keep. Keep the negative sign, add them together, you're going to get 25. Just to be clear, I just added the 18 and the 7, right? So you have -25y, because those are the y terms, and we're still adding 13. Anything else I can do to make this answer better? Nope, it is fully simplified, so that is our final answer. Let's go on to example 2. We've got some decimals over here. So again, with these two, you might want to use that fraction calculator. For these down here, it's easiest just to use a regular calculator. Pretty much any calculator will allow you to enter decimals. So we've got some more distributing to do. Let's distribute our 4.8 to the 2.1b, and let's distribute it to the 3.1, the -3.1. So 4.8 times 2.1 is going to be 10.08. 10.08. Don't forget the b, so it'll be 10.08b. Now we have a positive times a negative, so I'm going to go ahead and write negative. And then 4.8 times 3.1 equals 14.88. So just to be sure about the signs, I went ahead and thought of it ahead of time. Positive and negative is going to give me a negative. And then when I put it in my calculator, I kept both of these numbers positive. But if you wanted to leave the sign off altogether, you would need to be sure you do a positive 4.8 and a negative 3.1. I'll do that on this one just to be a little different. But you would want to put it in your calculator with the sign so that you would know what sign goes in front of it. Either way, maybe just take a second and think through it after you're done to make sure that sign looks like what you want it to look like. Is there any more we can simplify this? Nope, there's no like terms to simplify, so that's our final answer. Okay, one more here and then we'll go to your assignment. We have this -8.7 that's going to distribute here, and then -1. So grab my handy dandy calculator, and I'm going to do negative, I almost did that minus sign again. Okay, we're going to do -8.7 times a -8.9. All right, I think I actually typed that in right, which is great for me. It's going to be a positive 77.43, and that variable on there is a k. All right, now let's do the next one. We're going to have that -8.7 times a -3.7 times -3.7, 32.19. So it looks like it's a positive number, so I'm going to write a plus here. 32.19, and then I'm just going to bring down that -1 from over here. Now just to kind of take a step back and check like I was talking about in that previous problem, in the first terms we have a negative times a negative, so that should equal positive, and it does, so we did good. And over here on the next term we have a negative times a negative, which equals a positive. So it looks like we did that one right also. Again, especially when you're sort of outsourcing a little bit of your brain to the calculator, it's just really good to look back over and make sure your answer makes sense and that it is what you want it to be. Okay, now can we simplify this anymore? Yeah, we've got two constants here. We got 32.19 and we have minus 1. So I'm just going to subtract 1 from that, which I think I can do in my head. So we're going to have 77.43k plus 31.19. And that is our final answer. Alrighty, folks, now to the assignment for tonight. On the first page, you have all fractions, and on the second page, you all have all decimals. So we're going to do one from each. You're only doing the evens tonight, or this morning. Sorry, I'm so used to homework being a night thing. It's so funny. Maybe you're doing it at night, maybe not. Here with number 2, that's what we're starting on, and next we'll go to number 12. So on number 2, we have this 1/3, which is going to distribute to the negative 11/10 m, and it's going to distribute to the 5/4. So I'm going to use my calculator. Actually, you know what? I'm going to skip calculator so I can show you how to multiply, just in case you want a review of that. So for multiplying 1/3 times 11/10, and it's a negative 11/10, I'm going to put that negative up there with the 11. Now I just multiply straight across. So 1 times negative 11 is negative 11. And then 3 times 10 is going to be 30. So our first one is negative 11 over 30, which is already fully simplified. Can't simplify that anymore. And the variable to include is that m. Okay, next we have to do 1/3 times 5/4. So you're just going to multiply straight across again. 1 times 5 equals 5. And 3 times 4 equals 12. Again, already fully simplified. It looks like it's a positive number, so we're going to do plus 5 over 12. And that's how you do it by hand. Let's go on to the next page. We're going to do the first one, or the first one that you have to do on the next page, which is number 12. We have 4.8, which we're going to distribute to 2.1b, and we're going to distribute to 3.1. So I personally really like to use my calculator when you have all these decimals. So let's do 4.8 times 2.1, and you get 10.08. 10.08. And don't forget the b. Also, just a note, don't try to put the b in your calculator. It's not going to work out too well. You want to just take the numbers, the coefficients or constants or whatever you're multiplying, just the number parts, multiply those together, and then add that variable on later. Next, we're going to do 4.8 times 3.1. 4.8 times 3.1, 14.88. And it's a positive number, so we're going to do a plus 14.88. Is there anything else I can simplify here? Nope. There's no like terms to combine, so this is our final answer. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye!